sternum, that is costal arch, ribs, umbilical ring, spina iliac anterior superior, pubic symphysis. That is anterior abdominal wall. And if we draw superior horizontal line at the level of 10th rib, that is 10th rib here and here, and another horizontal line in space between spina iliac anterior superior, we subdivide the anterior abdominal wall into 3 regions, and next, with the help of two vertical lines, subdivides into 9 regions. These vertical lines pass laterally from rectus abdominal muscle. And now we receive 1, 2, 3 regions superiorly. In middle part the same 3. And in inferior the same 3 regions. In center of superior part of anterior abdominal wall, we have epigastric region, regio-epigastrica, number 1 and number 3 laterally, that is hypochondric regions, right and left hypochondric regions, regio-hypochondriaca, dextrum et sinistrum. In middle region of anterior abdominal wall, we have umbilical region in center and 2 lateral regions, regio abdominalis lateralis dexter and regio abdominalis lateralis sinister, right and left lateral abdominal region. And in inferior part, in center of inferior part, that is pubic region, because it is above of pubic symphysis, and laterally 2 inguinal regions, regio inguinalis, dextrum et sinistrum. Why it is inguinal? Because here it is inguinal ligament, inguinal canal, superficial inguinal ring. Here it is in lateral on the left side, on the left and on the right side. And now, when you will explain topography of inner organs, you should explain how these inner organs has projection on anterior abdominal wall. For example, stomach. If stomach is empty, most part of the stomach located in epigastric region. But if stomach is full with food, greater cavity of the stomach descend into umbilical region. It is liver, most part of the liver in right hypochondric region, small part of liver in epigastric, spleen is in left hypochondric region. It is. That is golotopia, projection on anterior abdominal wall. You know what is skeletotopia? What is it? How inner organs situated near of bones. For example, today you answer that cervical department of esophagus is start from the level of C6 and goes to the level of T2. That is skeletotopia. Syntopia, that is topography of inner organ, how it's attached to another inner organs. Syntopia of esophagus in cervical department, in front of esophagus, trachea, laterally common carotid artery, and so on. Clear? That is syntopia. And golotopia, that is projection to anterior abdominal wall. Now, some words about how, maybe you know that inner organs in abdominal cavity, most of them supplies with peritoneum. Peritoneum, that is a serous coat, tunica serosa in abdominal cavity. And if inner organ supplies from all sides with peritoneum, now that is inner organ, and it's surrounded from all sides with peritoneum. we speak about intraperitoneal position. Intraperitoneal position. Sometimes inner organ supplies with peritoneum from three sides, anteriorly and laterally. For example, esophagus. Esophagus, three walls of esophagus, anterior wall and two lateral walls supplies with peritoneum, but posterior wall of esophagus have not got peritoneum. In this case, we speak about mesoperitoneal, good. And last position, if only one side of inner organ supplies with peritoneum. Extraperitoneal position, yes. Extraperitoneal position. And if inner organ supplies with peritoneum from all sides, intraperitoneal position, in this case, these two layers of peritoneum between abdominal wall and inner organ makes ligaments or mesenterium. If it is empty organ, for example, intestine, usually it is mesenterium. If it is parenchymatous organ, for example, liver or spleen, we speak about ligaments. In stomach, it is empty organ, but we also speak about ligaments of the stomach, not mesenterium, ligaments. But in large intestine, we speak about mesenterium between abdominal wall and inner organ, that is mesenterium. And now we continue to speak about digestive system and stomach. Stomach, it is situated in upper part of abdominal cavity and projection in epigastrium and small part in umbilical region. Place where esophagus insert into the stomach, we speak about ostium cardiacum, cardiac opening. And what is the opposite opening? You know? What is the name of this opening of stomach? Pyloric. Here it is cardiac opening, here it is pyloric opening. That is why part of the stomach near of cardiac opening, this part, that is cardiac part, pars cardiaca. And part of the stomach near of pyloric opening, that is pyloric part. Clear it is? This part of the stomach, which is above of cardiac opening, here it is, that is fundus or fornix, two names, fundus or fornix. And all another, that is a body of the stomach or corpus gastrice or corpus ventriculi. Gaster, that is Latin name of the stomach, ventricle, ventriculus, that is Greek name of stomach. The same we have lesser and greater curvature, curvatura ventriculi minor and curvatura ventriculi major. We already said that stomach has intraperitoneal position, but it has ligaments. Ligaments of the stomach, first ligament that is in place where peritoneum goes to lesser curvature of the stomach from liver. Here it is liver, that is the liver, and between liver and stomach we have ligamentum hepatogastricum, hepatogastric ligament. And from greater curvature of the stomach, peritoneum continues to transverse colon. Here it is transverse colon, and that is why here it is ligamentum gastracolicum, or that is greater amentum. And here it is peritoneum goes to spleen, that is gastrosplenic ligament, ligamentum gastrolienale. Lien, that is Latin name of spleen. Gastrolienale, ligamentum gastrolienale. That is, they are ligaments of the stomach. Now, I think you know that all digestive tract has three coats. For example, in esophagus, what is external coat of esophagus? Adventitia. In abdominal cavity, peritoneum, that is external coat. Middle coat is tunica muscularis, muscular coat, and inner coat is
Tunica mucosa.
mucous membrane, yes. With submucous layer, telesubmucosis, that is part of tunica mucosa. In stomach, the same three layers. External coat, that is serous coat, to peritoneum, intraperitoneal position. Middle layer, that is muscular coat, and inner layer, that is mucous membrane with submucous layer, telesubmucosa. A muscular coat of stomach consists of three layers. External, that is longitudinal muscles, middle layer circular muscles, and inner layer oblique muscles of the stomach. Oblique muscles start from cardiac opening and goes to greater curvature. And this oblique layer help to mix food into the stomach, mixed food. Mucous membrane. Mucous membrane, first of all, it has longitudinal folds in the region of lesser curvature. With the help of this longitudinal fold, fluid, for example, water, that is directly goes to duodenum. It's makes that is along of longitudinal fold. Fluid goes directly to pyloric part and continues into duodenum. Hard food goes to stomach and stay here near 4 hours. And digestive process in stomach participate with the help of gastric juice. And this juice produced with the help of gastric glands. We have pyloric glands, gastric glands, cardiac glands, and these glands has two main types of cells. Chief cells produced pepsinogen, and parietal cells produced hydrochloric acid. The same stomach has mucous glands. What else? Some words about syntype. Above and on the right side we have liver, on the left side from stomach spleen, below of stomach transverse colon, behind of stomach we have pancreas, and behind of stomach we have epiploic bursa, bursa ommentalis, omental bursa ommentalis. The same behind of stomach we have aorta and inferior vena cava. That is all. Ostium cardiacum is in place where cartilage of the seventh left rib in linea parasternalis, near of sternum. Fundus of stomach goes to the level of fifth rib on the left side in the region of linea medioclavicularis, and the pyloric opening is on the right side in projection of cartilage of the eighth right rib. And pyloric opening correspond to the level of first lumbar vertebra, sometimes 12th thoracic, but more frequently first lumbar vertebra. That is topography of stomach. Next, small intestine. Small intestine consists of 3 departments. First department, that is duodenum, second, and ileum. Duodenum, that is duodenum. And then jejunum and ileum. Duodenum. Duodenum consists of 4 parts. First part of duodenum, that is superior part, pars superior. Then second, that is descendens part. Then horizontal part, number 3, and ascendens part, number 4. It has three flexura. Here it is flexura superior duodeni, here it is flexura inferior duodeni, and in place where duodenum continues into jejunum, that is flexura duodeno-jejunalis. Flexura duodeno-jejunalis. Topography. Superior part of duodenum is at the level of L1. Descendant part goes to the level of L3. Horizontal the same at the level of L3. And ascendant part goes to the level of L2. Synthapia. Above of superior part we have liver. Behind of descendant part, right kidney with adrenal gland. Medially from descendant part, head of the pancreas, that is a pancreas, head of the pancreas. In front of descendant part, we have transverse colon and mesentery of transverse colon, mesocolon transversum. Horizontal part, in front it has superior mesenteric vessels, they are artery and vein. Behind of horizontal part, aorta and inferior vena cava. And above of horizontal part, that is the same pancreas. Now, wall of duodenum, the same like wall of all small intestine, has three coats. External coat, that is peritoneum, and duodenum has extraperitoneal position. Only anterior side of duodenum supplies with peritoneum. Extraperitoneal position in duodenum. Only beginning of duodenum, in place where pyloric opening opens into the duodenum, this short part of duodenum has name bulb, bulbus duodeni, or ampule, ampulla duodeni. This place also, like stomach, has intraperitoneal position. All another departments of duodenum has extraperitoneal position. In small intestine, mucous membrane has circular folds. That is specific feature of small intestine. But in ampule of duodenum, we have short longitudinal folds, and another longitudinal fold we can see in descendant part of duodenum. Only in ampule and in descendant part we have longitudinal fold. This longitudinal fold, plica longitudinalis duodeni, on the apex, it has papilla. Papilla duodeni major. That is a place where common bile duct, ductus haliedachus, and pancreatic duct opens into the duodenum. Papilla duodeni major, that is place where bile and pancreatic juice goes to duodenum. Proximally from papilla duodeni major, sometime in 20% of cases, we have lesser papilla, papilla duodeni minor. That is place where additional duct of pancreas opens. Ductus pancreaticus accessorius. It opens in lesser papilla, papilla duodeni minor. All another surface of small intestine has circular folds, everywhere. Circular folds, that is main specific feature of small intestine, with villi intestinalis, which is enlarged surface, inner surface of small intestine. And last, jejunum and ileum. Main specific feature of jejunum and ileum, that is the differences from duodenum, that is intraperitoneal position of jejunum and ileum, and duodenum extraperitoneal position. That is why jejunum and ileum has mesenterium. Mesentery of jejunum and ileum, that is main specific, that is common feature for jejunum and ileum. That is why these two departments combined in one name, mesenterial part of small intestine. Duodenum have not got mesenterium, all another departments has mesenterium, mesenterial part of small intestine. And there is no clear border between jejunum and ileum. Impossible to say where jejunum finish and where ileum start. There is no clear border. But in place where duodenum continue into mesenterial part, that is, here it is jejunum. In place where small intestine insert into large intestine, that is ileum. And where is a border between them? Impossible to say. In upper part jejunum, in lower part is ileum. Main differences between jejunum and ileum, main differences between them, that is presence of pairs patches in ileum. Only in ileum, in mucous membrane of ileum, we can find aggregates lymphoid follicles, folliculi lymphoidei aggregati, aggregates follicles, we can see only in ileum. They has name pairs patches. In all another, everywhere, in stomach, in esophagus, in duodenum, in jejunum, and in ileum the same. We have solitary follicles, folliculi lymphoidei solitari. They present everywhere, in all departments of digestive tract, everywhere. Folliculi lymphoidei solitari, but aggregates follicles only in ileum. That is main differences between jejunum and ileum. Another difference is not so important. For example, diameter usually larger in jejunum than in ileum. Wall of jejunum usually thicker than wall of ileum. Villi intestinalis, more numerous villi intestinalis in jejunum than in ileum. But it is not so important. That is thicker, thinner, it is not so large differences. But it is so. Well, what we can see, these diagrams only for understanding, not necessary to draw. Maybe you need to know names of these regions, but very easy to draw. Here, here, and here, and write names of these regions. It is not so difficult. All another moments that is only for your understanding.